Tuck your chin, soften your knees, and curl down a little bit. And again, you might continue to sway a little bit here from side to side. Feel that stretch through the back of the neck. And then inhale, and let's take that back bend again. So open your elbows wide, moving with the breath now. Exhale, round forward. Inhale. Feel your back muscles engaging here. And exhale. One more time, inhale, open. And this time, exhale, keep your hands behind your head, but bend your knees a lot and come all the way down into a forward fold. And don't pull on your head, just let your hands kind of rest on the back of your head and sway a little bit here from side to side. Breathe into your back. Now keep your hands behind your head. We're going to sit back into chair pose and open the elbows wide again. Feel that nice stretch through the chest and the shoulders. And now push into your feet and come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center for Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's do a couple of half salutes. So on your inhale, reach up and stretch. On your exhale, hinge at your hips, dive forward with a nice straight back. Let your weight shift forward towards your toes as you come forward. On your inhale, lift halfway up and straighten your spine. And on your exhale, fold forward again. Come all the way up to standing with strong legs. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, bring hands down to heart. Do that again, inhale. Remember, follow your own breath. As soon as the exhale begins, let your movement follow it all the way through to the end, and then pause at the bottom of the exhale. As the inhale arises, come up halfway, fill your lungs up, straighten your back. And as you exhale, fold in. Now hold your exhale out and come up to standing. So your core is engaged, arms overhead, inhale. Bring hands to heart, exhale. One more time like that. Inhale, reach up and stretch. Dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Come on up, inhale. Bring your hands down to your heart. Inhale the arms overhead. Now grab onto the left side of your head gently with your right hand. And draw your right ear to your right shoulder as you reach out and stretch through your left arm all the way out through the fingertips. And then inhale back up, arms overhead, and do that on the other side. So draw your left ear towards your left shoulder. Reach out through the right arm. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Now step your left foot back into a lunge and softly bring your back knee down to the mat. Stabilize your hips and your legs and rise up into a low lunge. Reach the arms up over your head. Start to lift your chest up more towards the sky. Now you can keep your back foot flat or you can tuck the toes if you want. I want you to send your hips forward a little bit more and find a deeper back bend here. And we're going to balance a little bit here as we move back and forth. So now I want you to exhale, send your hips back towards your left heel and bow forward over your right leg. And you might straighten your right leg all the way. Just reach back through the arms. And now with your breath, inhale, send your hips forward, lift your chest up, reach up. Exhale, send the hips back. You want to feel like you're hugging your inner thighs and your outer hips in. Inhale, that's going to help with your balance, with the stability. Exhale, last time, send the hips back. And now inhale, arms up. And reach your hands forward and bring them down onto the mat. Pick up your back knee and step back into a plank position. And take a few breaths in your plank pose and just think about your alignment. Use your hands, push your fingers down into the floor. Your legs are strong, your belly is lifted, the back of your neck is long. And now, can you stay strong here, but then add some ease? So maybe sway a little bit from side to side or front to back. Remember, modify your practice as you need to. Be kind to yourself and your body. Now, from your knees or from your toes, we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Take your time. Slow, slow, slow. Keep that belly in, elbows in by your sides. Good. Hands in line with your chest. Stretch your legs back. And on your inhale, low cobra pose. So I actually do want you to use your arms a bit here to help pull you forward, but then use your back muscles to help lift you up higher. Use your hamstrings and your glutes too, so push down through the tops of your feet. And then exhale and lower all the way back down. Let's do that a couple times with the breath. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, fill your lungs, pause at the top, and exhale, lower down. And now do one more on your own. So if you want to come up a little higher this time, go for it. If you want to hold for a few extra breaths here, there's no rush. And then exhale to come all the way back down to your belly. We're going to push up to the hands and the knees. So pull your belly up away from the floor. Exhale and push yourself up to your hands and your knees. And then stretch your right leg back behind you. Now, stabilize hips, keep your belly pulled in, and lift your right leg up. Reach your left arm forward. So I want you to think about stable right shoulder, stable left hip. Take an inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, bring your elbow towards your knee. It doesn't have to touch. On your inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale. Now this time, reach, hold here. Bring your left hand down. Now keep your elbows hugged in by your sides. Shift your weight forward slightly. And now just start to lower your chest down. And I only want you to go as low as you can keep your shoulders stable. So you might go really low and lift that leg a little higher. You might even bend your left knee and point the toes. And now exhale and push yourself back up. Now here's the hard part, the hardest part. Tuck your left toes, pull your belly in, and then lift your left knee and stretch your leg back into a three-legged down dog. And now stack your right hip on top of your left hip. Open the hips. Bend the knee, circle the foot, whatever feels good. And then bring your right leg down and stretch back into downward facing dog pose. Look up at your hands, lift your heels, and you can step, walk, or hop lightly to come to the top of your mat again. On your inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Come all the way up to standing, arms overhead. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up and stretch. Grab your right wrist, cross your right leg in front of your left leg. Put a little bend in that back knee, and now just bend over to the left and feel that nice deep stretch to the right side body. Come back up, inhale. Switch sides, grab your left wrist, cross your left ankle over, and bend to the right. Come back to center. Now step your feet out as wide as your mat, maybe a little bit wider. Take the arms overhead. And as you exhale, draw your hands down to your heart center and squat down. Malasana. You can stay here in Malasana. You can also work on your crow pose. So just bringing the knees to the backs of the arms, maybe picking up one foot, both feet. So what we're thinking about here in crow pose is stability in the shoulders a lot. There's a lot going on, but that's something that I find people struggle the most with their arm balancing, is keeping the stability in your shoulders. All right, come back into your Malasana if you are working on your arm balance. And now put your hands down, straighten your legs, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and step your right foot back into a lunge. Bring the knee down. Come on up when you're ready, low lunge. Reach up. Look up. And then start to send the hips forward. It's okay for your left knee to bend out past your toes in this position because you've got the support of the back knee down. And now take your hips back, sweep your arms back behind you, and bow forward over your left leg. Try to keep your shoulders back and your chest open. And now with the breath, inhale, find that back bend, open through the hips, exhale, go back. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale. And now reach forward, plant your hands, step back into a plank position. Bring your forearms down for a forearm plank position this time. So think about trying to rip your mat in half with your forearms, your hands. That's going to bring the shoulder blades. It feels like you're pushing the tops of your shoulder blades apart and then bringing the bottom tips towards one another. And now come on down for Sphinx pose. So bring your knees and your thighs and your hips down. Walk your elbows forward. Once again, pull your chest through your arms, through your shoulders. Push down through the tops of your feet. You can also bring your head down here. And then lower all the way down to your belly. Hands in line with the chest. Hug the elbows in. Pull the belly up and in. Let's push up to all fours. And stretch your left leg back. So without moving your hips or your spine, float your left leg up. And make sure you're not, letting that outer right hip pop out. So hug it in. Reach your right arm forward. Left shoulder stable. Inhale and reach and lengthen. As you exhale, elbow towards knee. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach long. And last time, exhale. Inhale, reach. Now bring your hand down. Let's come into sunbird. So we're going to bend the elbows. Remember, as soon as you start to feel your shoulders rounding forward or any collapsing in the shoulders, don't go down any further. Breathe. Now push yourself up. Again, here's the hard part. Tuck your back toes. Exhale, belly to spine as you lift the leg up and reach back into your three-legged down dog. And now open up your hips, stack your left hip on top of your right. Bend the knee, circle the foot. Downward facing dog. On your inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. And as you exhale, point your right knee at your right arm. It might touch, it might not. Reach back and stretch, and then point your knee towards your left arm. One more time, reach back. And now exhale, come right down the middle. Come up high on those back toes. Pull your knee in really close to you, and then step your foot through. And you might use your right hand to help you bring that foot up. Now this time, high lunge, so stable hips, strong legs. When you're ready, come up. Reach up to the sky. Feel the strength in that back leg. Look up. Bend your arms, elbows in, shoulders down the back. Push your chest up to the sky. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sweep the arms back, runner's lunge. So you want to feel a long, strong line of energy running through that back leg all the way to the top of your head. Now, slowly shift your weight more over your right leg. Straighten it as you lift your left leg up and you come into your warrior three. Breathe. And now step back to your high lunge. Reach your arms up over your head. Exhale and bring your hands forward. Step back into a plank. Now we're going to roll over onto our, let's go left side first for a side plank. So, nice way to start is bring your left knee down underneath you. Make sure that you're staying lifted up and out of your left shoulder. If you want to, you can also straighten out your bottom leg. Stack or stagger. So do what's going to be best for you and your body today. Breathe. Excellent. Now bring your right hand back down and come back into a down dog. Okay, so walk your feet in just a little bit so you've got a short downward facing dog. And I want you to reach over with your left hand and grab onto your right leg. And give it a little pull, twist, stretch your hips back. And now come back to downward facing dog. And take about 8 breaths here, 8 or 10 breaths, to either stay in your down dog, or if you really want to flow through a vinyasa, you can come forward into a plank and lower slowly through your chaturanga. Inhale into a back bend, and then exhale. Find your way back to down dog, leading with the belly. Breathe, slow everything down. On your inhale, stretch your left leg back. And as you exhale, point your knee at your left arm. Inhale, reach back and stretch. And now point your knee at your right arm. One more time, reach back. This time we're stepping through, so take your time. Try to use your core strength to come through instead of momentum. And when you feel steady, come up into your high lunge, crescent lunge pose. Reach up. Strengthen the legs. Bend your arms. Deeper back bend here. Inhale, reach up. Runner's lunge. Hold here for a couple of breaths and really push back through that right heel. Stretch out so that chin is tucked. Reach out through the top of your head. Lengthen through the neck. Keep breathing. Shift your weight over your left leg. Warrior three. So feel like you're hugging your outer left hip in, especially, or hugging your outer hips together. Hug your inner thighs together. Keep breathing. Remember, you fall out, you come back in. Falling is all part of it. Step back to your high lunge. And sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, reach forward. Step back first into a plank. And then we'll take Vashisthasana on the right side. So you can bring the right knee down and really think about getting that right shoulder down and back. Find whatever variation you took on the other side or what variation works for you here. Keep breathing. And bring your left hand down. And either stay in down dog or take a vinyasa. Maybe take a child's pose or grab a drink of water. So what calls to you in your body? And then if you're not there yet, come on into your downward facing dog. Because from our downward facing dog, we're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Now, we've been doing a lot on the wrists, so let's get a little stretch here. We're going to pick up the toes and slide the hands underneath the feet. So we're standing on the hands. You want to try to get your toes pretty close to your wrists. And it can be a little precarious here as you try to shift your weight forward a little bit more towards the toes. You might wiggle the toes. I like to wiggle my toes and give myself a little massage. Relax the head down. The knees are bent as much as you need them to be. And now pull your hands out from underneath your feet. And on an inhale, come up halfway and straighten your back. Exhale to fold. And push down into your feet and come all the way up to standing. Arms overhead. Bring your hands to your heart. So make sure that your feet are, once again, at least hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. We're all the way at the back of the mat. Take the arms overhead and bring your right elbow under your left elbow for our eagle arms. Hands to shoulders or palms to touch. Now lift your elbows up and now round like we did earlier. Bend the knees a little bit or a lot and round forward about halfway down. And maybe you sway here from side to side. Direct your breath into the upper back, between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. And now bring yourself back upright. Bring your elbows down now and step your feet together. Slowly sit back into a chair. And we'll shift the weight into the left leg and pick up the right knee and cross it over, either bringing your toes to the mat or maybe wrapping the foot or hovering the foot. Think about bringing your left hip forward and your right hip back. Also think about unclenching your left toes, unclenching your jaw, softening your gaze, and just breathing, feeling the pulsation of breath. Find the balance between effort and ease. Okay, now unravel and reach your arms up and lift your leg up. We're going to step the right foot forward. I want you to bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers together, open the chest up wide, and now come forward into another variation on Warrior 3 pose. And really stretch back through your left leg. Hug your outer right hip in. Stretch through the arms. Feel that nice opening through the chest. And now slowly come back up and lift your knee up with you. Release your hands. Stretch your arms up over your head. Bring your hands to your hips and step your left foot forward. And we'll come into tree pose. Bring your foot to your ankle, your calf, or your inner thigh. And remember, you want to push, might be time to take off my socks. You want to push your foot into your leg and push your leg back into your foot. And try to keep your hips, you might keep your hands on your hips for a second to make sure your hips stay level and you're not maybe turning one hip further forward than the other. Reach your arms up over your head. Breathe. Now we're going to twist to the right. Reach your left arm forward and your right arm back. Keep breathing. And as slowly, softly as you can, step all the way back to warrior two. One sock on, one sock off. All right, stay in your warrior two pose. Feel the pulsation of breath in this posture, the rise and the fall of the shoulders. Good, now flip your left palm up and reverse your warrior. And right away, straighten that left knee, straighten the leg, and reach and stretch to that whole left side of the body. And now exhale and reach forward as you come into triangle pose. So left hand goes to the leg or to a block. Twist your spine. Reach through the arms, reach through the legs. Remember, continue to breathe in the posture so that each breath affects the pose. So you feel more expansion on the inhale. You feel more strengthening and sometimes softening at the same time as you exhale. And now push into your feet and come all the way up. Turn your left foot in. So the feet are parallel, the arms are parallel to the floor. Take an inhale first. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Come down slow, slow, slow. With control, put your hands where you want them to go. Your weight will shift forward more towards the toes. The knees are soft, the quads are active. The belly is pulled up and in. Try to relax the head. And just breathe and observe. On your inhale, lift halfway up. On your exhale, pivot to face the front of your mat again. Your left foot is forward. Step your back foot in a little bit as we prepare for a revolved triangle pose now. So left hip back, right hip forward. Right hand can go to a block if you want, or something if you feel like the ground's a little too far for you to reach here. You want to feel spacious. So left hand on the sacrum, take an inhale, lengthen, and now exhale and begin to twist your spine to the left. And as you're twisting your spine to the left, bring your left hip back and your right hip forward again. And your left arm might come up, it might not. Do what feels best for your shoulder and your neck. Breathe. Now release the twist. Look in front of your left foot. Put your right hand or block out in front of you. And now lift your right leg up. A lot of balancing happening, always, right? Hug the outer left hip in. Keep your left hand on your sacrum. Take an inhale. And now twist your spine again. So now we're in revolved half moon pose. Breathe. Maybe you want to try bending your back knee. Maybe you want to try reaching for the foot. Are you breathing? That's the most important part of what you are doing right now. Now step your foot all the way to the back of your mat. Scoot your feet further and further and further apart from one another because we're coming into lizard. So what you want to try to do eventually is to come down to the forearms, and you might put a block underneath your forearms. If that's excruciating, don't do it. Just put your hands, keep your hands on the mat, straight arms. Might rock a little bit, back and forth. And now put your back knee down. Come back up to your hands. Back toes tucked. Let's go back for Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. So flex your left foot as you send your hips back, like we did earlier, but this time with more assistance from the hands. Bow forward. Energetically pull your heel back towards your body. And now come back to your lunge and just put your hands down on the mat and either go straight back into a downward facing dog or take a vinyasa, child's pose. Maybe hold a plank for a few breaths. As you come back to your down dog, just slow it all down again. And then walk your hands back to your feet. On your inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. And come all the way to standing. And bring your hands to your heart. And close your eyes and take a moment here just to be observant of how you feel. Let go of any tension you might be holding. And now take the arms down. Feet are wide. Back of the mat, arms overhead. Exhale, left arm under right arm this time. Eagle arms. Lift the elbows. Press them away from you. Bend the knees and then round about halfway down. Tuck the chin. Sway from side to side. Breathe into your back. And now bring it back up. And step your feet together. Sit back into your chair pose. This time you'll cross your left knee over your right knee. Left hip back, right hip forward. Find your focus, your effort, your ease. And as you unravel, lift the leg, reach the arms up. Stand tall. Step forward. Bring your hands behind you again. Interlace your fingers the opposite way this time. Shoulders back, chest open. And now lift the right leg up and breathe. So you might keep your elbows bent. Push back through your right foot. You might feel like you're squeezing your left glute a little more to help you stabilize through that left hip. And now slowly come up and lift your knee and reach your arms up. And let's step forward. You put your hands on your hips and come into your tree pose. So you're feeling the hips as you set this up. Try not to sink into one hip or turn one hip more forward. So square the hips forward, shoulders forward. Push your foot into your leg back into your foot. And bring your arms up. And exhale, twist. Breathe. Now step all the way back to your warrior two pose. And just take a few breaths here. Remember, inhale, you expand. Exhale, navel to spine. So you feel on that exhale, you feel inner strength and you feel outer body kind of softening, a little bit more relaxing. Turn your right palm open, reverse your warrior, and go ahead and straighten through the right knee. Inhale as you rise up, and exhale as you reach forward and find your triangle pose, Trikonasana. Your left arm can come up. I've got funky things going on with my left shoulder, so I haven't been using it as much. Breathe. Lengthen through your legs. Lengthen through your arms. Lengthen through your spine. twist. And now come up. Arms parallel. Turn your right toes in. Take an inhale. And once again, exhale and come forward into a wide-legged forward fold. And we're going to do something different this time. So put your left hand directly underneath you. Bring your right hand to your sacrum. Inhale to lengthen, and let's twist to the right. Left hip back, right hip forward. You can reach your right arm up if you want here. Keep it behind you. And then release. And put your left hand on your sacrum. And twist to the left. And release. Inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, turn around, face the front of your mat again. Right leg forward, left leg back. Let's step that back foot in for our revolved triangle first. So left hand on a block or on the mat, bring your right hand to your sacrum, lengthen your spine, exhale, twist to the right. Left hip back, right hip forward. Right arm might come up, it might not. Feel the pulsation of breath. Now look down in front of your mat. Slowly shift your weight over your right leg. Float your left leg back up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist again. Revolved half moon pose now. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Strengthen that back leg like you've got it pushed against a wall. Nice. Maybe you bend your knee and try to find your foot. And now slowly step all the way back. And let's find our way into that lizard. So walk your feet further and further and further apart. Again, you might stay up on the hands. That's fine. Eventually, see if you can get a little lower. Maybe bring the forearms down. Focus on what you're doing. It's so easy to just go through the motions of our practice. You think, well, I did this last time, so I should be able to do it this time. And it doesn't always work like that. It's not about mastering something, but just observing where you are each time that you come into it, how it's different, where you need to adjust, relax, engage. And then bring your knee down. You can come back up to your hands if you're down, and then we'll sit back for half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Keep a softness to that right knee. Energetically pull the heel back towards you. Bow forward. Come back to your lunge. And plant your hands. And find your way to downward facing dog, taking any movement along the way that calls to you. On your inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. And as you exhale, bring it through for pigeon pose. Extend your left leg straight back. Walk your hands back towards your hips. So you can always put a block under your hips. You can certainly do this on your back if that works better for your knee. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Lift your chest up, stretch back through your back leg, and then fold forward, sleeping pigeon pose. Now walk your hands back to your hips. Shift your weight over into your right hip and swing your left leg around. And don't place the foot down on the mat, but rather hug the knee up into your chest. Flex your right foot or your left foot. Reach over with your right hand and take a hold of the outside of your left foot. Now sit up tall. Bring your left hand behind you and now twist and start to straighten your left leg. And you can keep the left hand down. You can reach it back as well. Every time you inhale, sit up a little taller. As you exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. And release your twist and cross your left knee over your right knee for Gomukhasana, cow face. So what might be more comfortable is to straighten the bottom leg out. What you want to try to do is stack your left knee on top of your right knee. Yeah. So see if you can bring that left foot, the heel, back more towards your glute. There you go. And then lay the knee down on top of the other. Is that okay for your knees? Okay, good. Now, this might be where you stay. This might be intense enough to sit up tall. You can also add the arms if you want. You can bring your right arm back and pull back gently with your left. If you can take the bind and clasp the hands, you can do that as well. You can also fold forward with the bind or without the bind. So many options. Wherever you are, be present. Breathe into it. And now bring yourself back up. Release your arms if you've got it. And now we're going to send the hips back. Do a little balance here. I want you to try to grab on to your big toes with your fingers. Might be a little awkward. Kind of fun. Breathe. Now release the feet and come into a regular boat pose. And then cross your ankles and rock forward. Find your way to downward facing dog pose again. So again, you might take a little movement along the way there. See what feels good in your body. And reach your left leg back behind you. Bring it through for pigeon. Walk your right leg back. And then as you walk the hands back towards the hips, you might think about pulling your belly in more if you're feeling any pinching in the low back. Block can go under that left hip or a blanket. Lift your chest up to the sky, push to the top of your back foot. And then sleeping pigeon pose, walk the hands forward. Notice your mind trying to check out. And then walk your hands back to your hips. This time, bring your right leg around in front of you. Adjust yourself so that you're sitting up tall on your sitting bones. And hug your right knee in towards you. So reach over with your left hand this time and take a hold of the outside of your right foot. Bring your right hand behind you and push down into that hand. Lengthen up through your spine first. And now twist to the right and push out through your left foot. Incorporate the whole spine, so look back through the head, the eyes. Release your twist and cross your right knee over your left knee this time for Gomukhasana. So you want to try to bring the heels back close to the hips. That bottom leg can straighten out. Remember, you might stay here. You might take the bind, left arm up, right arm down, or right hand guides the elbow back. And you also may fold forward here. Rise up, release the bind, and we'll take our balance again. So you might grab the toes first and then lean back and pick up those feet. Keep breathing, soft gaze, full breath. Boat pose. Sit up tall, maybe straighten the legs. And then as slowly as you can, keep your knees bent. Roll down onto your back and place your feet flat. In preparation for one bridge pose or one back bend if you're feeling that. You can also take a supported bridge here and slide a block underneath your hips. So either way, push down into your feet, press back through the arms as you start to lift your body up. Tuck your shoulders in underneath you. Really feel that nice deep opening through the chest. You can certainly come up into a full wheel and then maybe come back down through bridge and down into a restorative bridge. And when you're ready to fully come out of it, just bring the hips down and pause for a second. Don't try to hug the knees in yet or anything. Just kind of relax and notice how you feel. And then straighten your legs out. And flex your feet. So make this a really active position on your back. Reach your arms over your head. And now exhale and bring your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. Take your right leg up, interlace your fingers behind the leg, rotate the foot around, maybe point and flex. Bring your right leg into a half happy baby pose. Bend the knee towards your shoulder. Keep your left hip down. Bring your leg back up. Now just hold it up there. Keep your hips level. We're going to do a stretch for the IT band. So turn your leg inward slightly. So rotate your thigh bone in. Reach over with your left hand, take a hold of the leg, put your right hand on your hip, and then start to pull your leg over to the left, but push with your right hand to keep the right hip down. So it's kind of this pull and resist, pull and resist. And then bend your knee and draw it across your body to the left for a spinal twist. Look out over the right arm. And then release. And level your hips again on the mat. Stretch your legs long, reach your arms over your head. Flex the feet. Hug your left knee in. And take your leg up, interlace your fingers behind the leg. Move the foot around. Half happy baby pose. Keep your right hip down. Bring the left leg back up. Put your left hand on your hip. Reach over with your right hand. Now turn that thigh bone in slightly as you bring it across the body, and then push down, like you're trying to push your left hip down towards the left corner of your mat. And bend the knee and draw it across to the right for your spinal twist. And come out of your twist. Bring your hips level to the mat again. And extend your arms and your legs out for Shavasana. Final relaxation. Eyes are closed. Readjust yourself so that you are super comfortable, well aligned. Chin is tucked. Give yourself full permission to let go. Notice the tendency of fidgeting, of the mind wandering away, starting to try and make plans and all that kind of stuff. Try to let go of that for the next few moments. Stay aware of your breath and of your body. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms overhead. Bend your knees and roll over to either side. And very slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Bow your head in honor of yourself, in honor of your practice, and in honor of one another. Namaste.